Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today I'm at the Tata stand. Now, back in the day, Tata used to be quite a popular value brand. A lot of people bought them. And they were decent cars, if a bit unrefined, but things have changed now because obviously Tata owns Jaguar and Land Rover, and their cars have become much more refined over the years because of the expertise of Jaguar and Land Rover. So I'm going to check out the new Tata range, and we're going to see what the cars are like. Already they look pretty promising. Now I think logically we must start with this. This is the Tata Tiago. Remember the Tata Indica? This is the new Indica. And the Indica was a very popular car. So can the Tiago carry on the torch? Well, it looks much better than the Indica, I'll give it that. It looks much better. The Indica looked a bit like a toy car. This one is much nicer. I do quite like the grille at the front. It looks premium. And the price is pretty good, but it looks premium. You can definitely tell that there's some Jaguar influence, like the lines here. And that's no bad thing. Looks much better than the Indica did, that's for sure. Nice color. Moving on to the rear of the car, again, really nice lines. You have a wraparound tail lights. You have they're trim covers, but they actually look like real wheels. You have a nice sloping roof line. I do quite like the rising belt line. It looks completely different from the Indica. It's completely different. Because the Indica was a bit of an awkward looking car, it looked like a toy, but this doesn't look like a toy. I must say, they've improved their styling a lot. But let's see what the quality is like inside. Ooh. Already, I recognize this mirror switch from a Land Rover. I recognize that. Let's see what it's like. I must say, you know what? The quality, yes, there's hard plastics everywhere, but overall quality is good. It's not bad for the price. It's not a Rolls Royce, but actually not bad. And surprisingly, you get height adjustable seats, which is very strange for this type of car. So let me get into my driving position. I do quite like sitting high up. That does the trick. I can see perfectly fine if I just move back a bit. I still have decent space for my legs. And the indicators are actually better damped than on that Jaguar I just checked out earlier. These indicators are actually better damped. It's actually, look, it's no Volkswagen Polo, but that's much more expensive. And I think this is, it's just as good as the Picantos and i10s, dare I say better. I still have good headspace as well. I must say, I'm quite impressed by this little Tiago. Okay, well look, space in the back, I'm 6'2" and I don't have much legroom. However, headroom is actually quite good. It's a spacious little car, just like the Indica was, but I do feel like the quality is better in this than the Indica. Only time will tell to see if it's reliable, because Tata did have a slight patchy reputation for reliability, and of course there are Land Rover bits in this. So we'll wait 5 years to see what the quality is like, but so far it's actually pretty good. So far. I wonder what the boot's like. Right, well it's a small car, so it should in theory have a small boot. But it doesn't. Look how big the boot is. It's cavernous. I would have thought that it would have quite a small boot because there's lots of space in the back, but no, it's massive. That's pretty cavernous actually. Look at all the space you have. And if you fold down the chairs... Okay, well, you get the idea. That is actually very decent for a car this size. Well, already the little Tiago packs quite a punch, but what about the Tata punch? This is the step up from the Tiago, so we'll see how this compares. In terms of the design, it reminds me of the Ignis. It looks very similar to the Suzuki Ignis, but the proportions are better though, because the car is slightly wider than the Ignis, first of all, so it has more of a substantial look. It's like an Ignis, but the proportions are much better. You have this nice visor grille, which I quite like. Decent color as well. It's quite a nice color. Again, nice crisp lines. It looks very techy and futuristic. I must say, Tata's designs are very good. Nice light clusters at the back. Punch spelt out. It looks very nice, actually. It actually looks very nice. Let's check the inside out. Wow! This isn't bad. I think this is the entry model. I think the highest spec one is there. But wow, this isn't bad. Wow. Quality of this, wow. You know what's crazy? I was in a 400, nearly 500,000 Rand Jaguar earlier, and the switches on that were not as nice as on this. This is actually pretty good. Everything, the quality is surprisingly good. That feels tactile. Look, I would prefer to be a bit higher. I sit at the highest position and I would prefer to be a bit higher because I can't quite see over the bonnet. But it's decent. Look, I am comfortable. I would just prefer to be perhaps a bit higher up. I thought these Tatas were going to be a bit of a joke, but actually I'm quite impressed. I've got to say, I'm actually quite impressed with this. I can't lie. Even though my seat's in the highest position, my headroom is pretty good as well. I thought these were going to be flimsy like they were before, but I'm actually quite impressed. Only time will tell to see the reliability, but if they prove to be reliable, I'd recommend to you one of these. And the warranty is good. I think it's about 5 years. It's a appealing package, that's for sure. Alright, we got the Alfa Romeo style door handles. And when we hop in, look, just like in the Tiago, my legroom's not that good because I'm a tall bloke. I have to sit far back. But headroom is good. It's not quite as spacious back here as in a Suzuki Ignis, but it's pretty good. And I must say, the quality feels better than on any Suzuki product I've been in. You even have air vents at the back. Let's check out that one, because that one is the highest spec. Well, already, as you can see, this one is keyless entry. The other one doesn't. So that already tells you what it's like. Well, this is a bit better. You have a nice screen. Holy moly, you've got a sunroof. No way a car such as this has a sunroof. No way. That is nice. And the quality of the switches is good. Okay, nice quality feeling. Everything is damped. Everything feels good quality. Even the plastics, so hard, they feel good quality. I like the wood on the dash. It's fake wood, yes, but I like it. The glove box sounds good. The doors sound good. I'm surprised. This is an AMT, which I don't really like, because I know I've been in an Ignis with an AMT and it was a bit jerky, but maybe Tata's system is a bit smoother. It has your manual function there, reverse. I quite like the feeling of this gear shifter as well. It feels, the quality on these is surprisingly good. I've got to say, the quality on these is surprisingly good. I've got to give Tata credit. I think Jaguar and Land Rover showed them how to make good quality cars. Alright, so now we have the Tata Curvv. This is the higher up one. It's the second highest after the Harrier. So what's this one like? I'm already impressed with these two little ones here. I'm extremely impressed with them. But let's see what the higher spec one is like. If those two are the entry-level cars and they're that good, what's this going to be like? Well, the styling is distinctive. You have a nice visor design, nice lines, very bold lines. I like the wheels, very nice wheels. You have Curvv spelt out there. It looks very upmarket, I must say. From on the side, you have nice lines, very nice flowing lines. It's a coupe SUV. It's one of the only coupe SUVs you can get. So you have the sloping roofline. Very nice. This car, it's not like the Suzuki Fronx where it claims to be a coupe SUV, but it really isn't. This one is a coupe SUV, you can see that. I quite like it. From the rear, it's a bit Lamborghini Urus-like. I quite like the way it looks. So let's see what it's like inside, because those other two were pretty good inside. Okay, you have Aston Martin style door handles. That's where you can see the British influence, that's for sure. Wow. Actually, wow. Wow. This is not bad, you know, for an Indian car. Wow. Wow. Okay, some of the plastics are a bit cheap, some of the switch gears are a bit cheap. It's not quite as upmarket as an MG ZS or ZS Pro, but it's actually not bad. It's not the worst thing I've sat in. I'm not quite a fan of this elephant grey trim. The gears feel nice. Let's feel the gears. The gears feel nice. They don't feel too notchy. They feel quite nice and premium. I quite like the feeling of the gears. You can get an automatic too, of course. And when you turn the car on, the Tata logo displays there. I think you see there, it's not real, it's a screen. So when I turn the lights on, you can see, that's quite cool, isn't it? And they all have the same steering wheel. It's an aftermarket look Harman infotainment system. It's not the most state-of-the-art infotainment system. That's one thing I'll say. This infotainment is not state-of-the-art. But it's actually pretty decent, the quality in here. Look how damped that is. If the glove box is damped, I'll eat my hat. Oh my! A damped glove box in a Tata. Oh my! No way! That's amazing! In a Tata, damp glove box. Everything feels nice. Everything feels good quality. The switches feel tactile. You can even open the boot from a touch of a button. This is nice. Even the boot feels substantial. It feels good quality. Very nice. The boot is very big. I mean, that for a coupe SUV, the boot on this is pretty good. You even get a decently sized spare wheel. A 16-inch spare. Is that a full size? It is. It's a full-size spare. You get all the space plus a full-size spare. That is actually very impressive. Let's check out the back. Let's check out the back. Alright, well, I'm 6'2", and look, you can see I don't have much space. The legroom is a bit lacking in these cars. But the headroom is, for a coupe SUV, I still have decent headroom. Look, my head is touching the roof, but it feels more spacious than a Suzuki Fronx, that's for sure. And look, I'd get a higher one because I really don't like this grey trim. But these seats are very comfortable. They're breathable too. It's actually not bad. It's actually not bad, really. These cars have really surprised me, I've got to say. They've surprised me with how good they are. And last but not least, this is the top spec Tata Harrier. This is actually underneath the skin. This is a Jaguar E-Pace or a Range Rover Evoque. It's the same platform. This is literally a Range Rover Lite. It's based on a Range Rover. So, with that in mind, this is going to be interesting. I like the design of this. It's not quite as cool as the Curvv. I think the Curvv looks cooler. I didn't even like the Curvv before, but I look at it now and it looks very nice. This is the entry-level model, so you have smallish wheels. An interesting fact about this is that this has a 2-liter diesel engine. Diesels have become rarer in the class, but this one has a diesel. Really nice light, really nice angle at the back. It's a bit like the iX35 from the back. The back reminds me of the Hyundai iX35 slightly, but that's no bad thing because that was a good-looking car. Not bad. Similar size to an Evoque, but I quite like it. Let's see what it's like inside. Even the door handles are straight from a Jaguar. I can tell those door handles are from a Jaguar. But you probably won't get away with crimes in this compared to a Jaguar. Alright, well, we're inside the Harrier now, and it's very nice. Oh, the steering feels very good. I must say, the steering feels very good. Again, the indicators feel very damp. You have paddle shifters even. And the switch gear is straight from Land Rover. This A-pillar's design is from a Land Rover. The mirror switches are similar. Wow, you even get this airplane-style handbrake. That's quite cool. Decent-sized armrest. The quality, yes, hard plastics, but it's pretty decent actually. You know, and you know, nice drivers, nice sport mode dial. The gearbox feels nice. That's from a Range Rover Evoque. I recognize this. I recognize that from a Range Rover. The glove box is damped, but you can tell this is from a Range Rover. You can see the influence, and it has that Tata badge that lights up, which is quite cool, isn't it? But let's see what the back is like. I've got lots of legroom. Headroom is good too. Even have LED lights. I'm not a fan of this elephant grey trim, I gotta say. Tata, I don't like this elephant grey trim. But other than that, it's nice. You get very big windows. It's almost Subaru-like. But, you know, it's not bad, eh? I must say, I was expecting far worse. So then, what's my verdict on the Tata range? I never thought I would say this about a Tata. But I really like these cars. I really like them. The quality is actually surprisingly good. The features are good. The space is good. Surprisingly good. And they look nice as well. They have a nice look to them. I initially did that video saying, oh, I'm not keen on these Tatas, but having been in them and having sat in them, I think I've changed my mind. The Land Rover switchgear inside, really nice. These cars are good quality for not a lot of money. Look, it's not really the blockbuster that MG is for me, but this is a very viable option. I'd have this over a Mahindra 3XO, I would, because I'm not a fan of the looks of that car, and I think this looks better. So, would I recommend you buy a Tata? I never thought I'd say this, but yeah, I would. I would recommend you buy a Tata. I would say buy one. I never thought I'd say this, but buy a Tata. These are extremely good. I never thought I'd say that. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.